All right, we're going to be welcoming Hui-Ya Chuang, who is here at the University of Hawaii to present on how to earn your badge. So take it away, Hui-Ya.
Hi, I'm Hui-Ya Chuang. I'm from the University of Hawaii and Manoa. So this is our final lesson, lesson 15. It's like a dessert at the last round of a banquet. So Ross have talked to you a lot about what we expect from you in your project blueprint. I'm gonna go do some more technical thing about why do we want to make a project blueprint, how are you gonna create, share, and complete your project blueprint, and how are you gonna give and receive feedback, and how are you gonna get your badge, and how are you gonna apply for Intensive Summer Institute. Okay, so the first step, let's look into why do we want to make a project blueprint. So there are several reasons, including structures you're planning for your project, helps bring you closer to the gold standard PBL, makes your plan available for critiques and revision, serves as a guide to project implementation, helps qualify you for the online institute badge. So here's our badge. If you finish everything, you'll get it at the end. Okay, and for creating your project blueprint, I know a lot of you have already submitted your project blueprints. I have go through your submission, about 50 of them, but I found two major issues yesterday. The first one is a lot of you submitted our original project blueprint URL instead of your own project blueprint URL. The second issue is your share setting didn't set in the right way, so I couldn't even open and see your document. So please follow us through the next few steps to make sure you have submitted the right URL and then your share setting is correct. So when you want to create your project blueprint, first you need to access our original document and then make a duplicated copy. In a copy, you have to rename it, put it in your Google Drive space, and then set a share setting to anyone can edit. So I'm gonna show you a few screenshots to make sure we know what we're talking about. So where to find the original template? You can find in two places. First is in our NFLRC website. Here's a URL. You'll know this page pretty well by now. And the second one is if you go to our online module page, you can see the project blueprints PB. So if you can click either of these two links, you can see the original template, and it looks like this. Okay, so once you find it, you can make a copy of this project blueprint by going into File, Make a Copy. Okay, so after you do File, Make a Copy, you should see this window. By default, it says Copy of Project Blueprint 2017. You should put your name instead of copy. So my project blueprint will be Hui-Ya-Project Blueprint 2017. And make sure when you say folder, it's located under my drive, so you know where to find it next time. So when you finish those two steps, you click OK. So now you should be in your own project blueprint document. And the next step is you need to change the share setting of your document. So if you look into the upper right corner, there's a share icon. If you click that, and there, you should be able to select the share setting as anyone with a link. Wait a moment, the second one can add it. By default, if you choose that as anyone with a link can view, and you'll be asking, why do I want other people to edit my document? The reason is because your colleagues, they want to comment on your document. The only way for them to do that is for you to change your setting to anyone with a link can edit, not just us can view or can comment. Okay, oh, sorry, and don't forget to click Save after that. Okay, so now we finished creating your own copy and we change the share setting. The next step is I want you to copy your shareable link and then share it with us via our Google form. So let's go back to your original, let's go back to your project blueprint document. I'll click on the share again. And now you should see a window looks like this. And like if you look at that, make sure you're looking at the right setting. It says anyone with a link can edit. And you should see the URL underneath it. If you don't see it, if you go into the upper right corner, you should see a text say get shareable link. And if you click that, you'll show pop up this URL. So make sure you copy that link, and then you come back to our NFLRC homepage. Here under Share Blueprint, if you click that link, it will take you to the Google Docs. So here's how it looks like. One problem I noticed when you send me a Google Docs, make sure you enter the right information in each box. The first one is your name, your email, and paste your project blueprint that you just copied in the third box, and then submit. A couple of people send me put the first name, the last name, and the Gmail in the project blueprint URL. That's why we couldn't get the right information from you. So if you notice that you have made a mistake, don't worry, just resubmit it. We'll update your information. Okay? So one more time, after you get your project blueprint URL copy, go back to our NFLRC homepage and click Share Blueprint. It'll take you to the document Google form, and just submit the information from here. Okay, so now you have completed your own project blueprint URL and shared it with us. So let's talk about what you should do with your project blueprint. Ross has told you about what are different categories we have, what expectations that we have from you, but what exactly do you have to do in those project blueprints? First, of course, you fill out your name and your project title. Don't forget that, very important, so we know whose project this is. And then fill in your project blueprint as completely as possible in anticipation of feedback from 2 fellow participants. So what are the categories we have? We have your name, the project title, context, project idea, challenging problem or question, test your project idea using the product square, content knowledge, connections to career clusters, 21st century success skills, intercultural competence, preparing for the project, entry event, student learning outcomes, planning tasks and matching them to SLOS, developing the project key task, project assessment, reflection questions, and time for feedback. It looks a lot, but don't worry, Sherry and Cindy put a lot of scaffolding in the document for you. So you just need to follow the scaffolding. You will know exactly what to put in those categories. Okay, so make sure to fill in enough in each section of the blueprint. So after that, after reading it, your feedback partner will be able to tell another person about what this project is all about, what the student will be learning, and some learning activity and assessment in the project. Also, what the public product will be like. Okay, so that's what you will get after you complete your project blueprint. And the next step is to review someone's project blueprint and receive feedback from another person, another 2 persons, sorry. So the steps are, including that Ross mentioned, you will see instruction in the time for feedback section, and make sure your share setting is set to anyone with a link can edit, and then sign up to give feedback to 2 others in the project blueprint reviewer list, and give and receive feedback. But when you open other people's document, for example, today I'm reviewing Ross and Steven's document, I have to make sure that I only work in the time for feedback section. Don't enter the content in the wrong section. I don't want to mess their career cluster or the 21st century skill section. So make sure you only work in the time for feedback section. Okay, so how do we do that? First, if you open your document, you will see toward the end of your project blueprint, you will see a time for feedback section with all the instructions that you need. So make sure you read the instruction carefully, right? And then second, here, there's a part for you to fill out. It's called requesting peer feedback. So here, I want you to say exactly what your concern regarding this project and what the area you like to get feedback on. So if I say, oh, my area will be focusing, I want to focus on assessment or classroom management, and I like to receive feedback on those areas. And so when Stephen and Ross review my project blueprint, they will know what area to focus on and make sure that I'm getting the feedback that I really want. Okay. So where do I find those project blueprints? If you go back to our online module homepage, you will see these four tools, buttons, I should call it. So the third one is called PB. PB is all project blueprint. It's not for peanut butter. So PB, peer feedback. If you click that, it will take you to the spreadsheet. Looks like this. So here you can see timestamp, your first and last name, your email, project blueprint URL. Do you plan to apply for some institute? And ready for review. So here you can put your name. If I want to review Ross's blueprint, I'll put my name under either reviewer 1 or reviewer 2. And that's what you have to do to find you can click on the blueprint URL first to see what are the project title of this person. If you're interested in the review of that person, put your name under review 1 or 2. And once, for example, if Ross has finished his project, he can go here and under ready for review, put on yes under that area. So I know his project blueprint is ready for me to review. If I finish my project blueprint, I can turn yes into that area as well. So people know, oh, Hui-Ya's project blueprint is ready I can review her. I don't have to keep waiting and waiting, see, is it ready yet? Can I review it yet? So make sure when you are in this document, pay attention to the two parts. First is put your name under reviewer. Second is make sure you turn that into yes, ready for review into yes when you are ready for others to review project blueprint. So once again, to find that spreadsheet, you go back to the online module. It's the third button from the left called PB peer feedback. And then you will find the information you need in the spreadsheet. So once you found the project blueprint you want to review, and you can go into the project blueprint area, you should see text like this. It tells you, here's where you should edit the content. For example, I'll enter my name as a participant 1, say name and my email, and what are my comments and suggestions on this project blueprint. And make sure you need to review 2 project blueprint, not just 1. Okay? So after you complete your own project blueprint, you review 2 other people's blueprints. And then I look back and revise on my project blueprint needed. If I finish everything, I want to submit my final project blueprint to tell us you are ready. What should we do? And you can go back to our module homepage, and the last button here called Institutional Evaluation and Project Blueprint Submission. You should be able to go to a form where you will enter your project blueprint URL and the evaluation toward some online institute. So that's what you have to do to get your badge. You have to first fulfill the badge requirement, to fill out institutional evaluation survey, and to submit a completed project blueprint. And then we'll give you feedback or send you the badge afterwards. Okay? So here are our badge criteria. For our badge criteria for the online institute, including learn about fundamental aspect of project-based language learning, and some of the commonalities and differences between PBL and PBLL. Develop a world language project for a specific context and describe it in the project blueprint document. Design simple standard-based tasks that target specific area of language learning and 21st century skills. Describe an articulated sequence of project tasks and corresponding assessments. Participate in a collegial discussion on topic related to language learning, project-based planning, design, and implementation by posting responses to prompts related to PBL in the majority of the Get Involved section. Because we have 15 lessons, we ask you to participate in at least 8 lessons on the Get Involved section. And provide feedback to 2 colleagues on their project blueprint. So those are the badge criteria for you to fulfill. And then if we review that, make sure you fulfill all the criteria. We'll assign you a digital badge. So one more time, just go to where you can find information that you need. The next one is important date. You must have seen this icon on your online module. And when you click that, it will take you to a document with, there are 2 pages on document. The first page is for participants who planning to apply for the online institute. So if you are planning to apply, look at page 1. If you are not planning to apply, just scroll down to page 2. There are different due dates. So make sure if you're applying for some institute, focus on page 1 due date. And this is what you're looking at. So if you're applying for some institutes, the due date for you to finish your project blueprint for review is March 24th. And then the due date for you to receive and give feedback to 2 other participants is March 27th. And the deadline for you to submit your revised project blueprint, online evaluation, and to meet the batch criteria. Remember the last icon you click to submit your evaluation and project blueprint is March 31st. And then by March, so after you submit that by March 31st, we'll review your project blueprint and we'll give you badge if you fulfill all the criteria. And then April 15 is a due date for you to submit for our summer institutes, which is August 2nd to 9th. And then by April 31st, you will receive notification if you're accepted for a summer institute or not. Just a reminder, if you submit for a summer institute and you haven't heard from us by April 31st, I still suggest you to block those dates. Don't plan anything before you heard from us. So, well, it happened last year. We had participants who were not sure if she can come, and she already planned other events in the same time as Summer Institute. Then we gave her offer to come with stipend, but she couldn't join us for Summer Institute. So make sure you block the date even before you heard it from us. That will be August 2nd to 9th. Okay, and like I think Steven mentioned earlier, the online module will be open for even after online institutes. You'll be available till the end of the year, December 31st. So if you are applying for some institute, those are due dates you should pay attention to. But if you are not applying for some institutes, you have a different due date. So for your project blueprint, the deadline will be July 15 to submit your project blueprint. And then you have till July 22nd to receive feedback and to give feedback to 2 other participants. And then by July 31st, you have to submit your revised project blueprint, complete online evaluation, and meet all the criteria, the badge criteria. And then you submit that to get your digital badge. So if you are not applying for some institute, your due date will be much later. Okay? So one more time, if you look at our online course module, the first thing you will see important date. We can find the date you need. Depends on if you are applying for some institute or if you're not. And the next button is a project blueprint template where you can find it. And then where PB peer feedback is where you can find a spreadsheet to identify yourself as the project blueprint complete or not, and to sign as an evaluator for 2 other participants. And the last one, institute evaluation and PB submissions, where you can submit it, your completed project after you receive feedback, and also to fill out evaluation for online institute. And we will know that you have completed and review and assign your digital badge if you fulfill all the criteria. And if you still have a question about how to make copies of your project blueprint, here is the link. If you go back to this page, there's a need help with this. We have a tutorial linked with our link. So if you want to make sure, double check your shared thing is correct or not, here's a tutorial you can find to help you. Okay, so if you're interested in looking into our Summer Institute information, here's the URL. It's the nflrc.hawaii.edu/event/view 90/97. So here you can find all the information that you need. And just a reminder, the important due date for applying for Summer Institute by March 31st, we want to receive your revised project blueprint so we can review and give you badge. And by April 15, you have to submit your application for Summer Institute. You'll receive a notification by April 30th. And then August 9 to 8 is the date for our Summer Institute. Oh, 2nd to 9. Okay, yes, 2nd to 9 is the day for our Summer Institute. Okay, so those are important days for you who are considering joining us for the Intensive Summer Institute. Okay, so do you have any questions?
We're in the same room, so I hope we don't get feedback on our mics. This is Stephen. My question is, when I am putting my URL of my project blueprint in the spreadsheet, there's a column that says ready for review, and that should be either yes or no, yes? So if my column says no, not ready for review, then I hope that people don't sign up to review it and start reviewing my project blueprint because it's not ready for review. Yes?
Yes, because in that spreadsheet, we have people from 2 different groups, people who are planning to apply for Summer Institute, people who are not. If you are not planning to apply for Summer Institute and you want more time to work on your project blueprint, you don't have to go in there and start looking around. You just make sure you turn that into no, because you need more time, you're still working on your project blueprint.
Okay, so that's also why the column that says planning to apply for Summer Institute is important. If I am planning to apply for Summer Institute, maybe I should try to give feedback to other people who are also trying to apply to the Summer Institute, because then we will give each other feedback in good time.
Yes.
Hello, this is Russ. I would like to make a few comments about the information that Hui-Ya presented in her lesson and that I presented in mine in lesson 14. Let me share the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. So with Project Blueprint, as Hui-Ya mentioned, when you are ready to provide feedback, there is a time for feedback section at the very bottom of the document. As Hui-Ya rightly mentioned, we want you to provide your feedback only in this section. We want you to write your comments at the bottom. Like for example, fellow participant 2, this is where you will write your feedback. We do not want you to write feedback in the actual text of the project blueprint. That said, however, we do, as I mentioned when I was talking about the criteria for SLOs and assessment, actually not SLOs and assessment, for peer feedback, we do encourage you to provide side comments. What that means is that let's say this section is already filled out by the author of this document. What I, as a fellow participant, can do is I can come here and instead of writing and changing anything here, I can click on this icon and add a side comment. So it basically works like track changes in Google Docs. So we do encourage you to use side comments, but please do not edit the actual text inside of the project blueprint that you are reviewing. Another comment is that as we've mentioned, and as you can see, Charisse and Cindy provided a lot of scaffolding for you. So you have, in addition to just general questions that ask you to do a specific task, you're given complete sentences with text that you need to replace in parentheses. I would like to emphasize that doing just the replacement of the text in parentheses will most likely bring you to the level of emerging or developing for most criteria. So if you want to really develop your project blueprint, we would highly recommend that you go beyond just replacing the text in parentheses and really elaborating on the points that you're asked to address in your project blueprint. And the last thing related to this is that for those of you who are interested in applying for the Intensive Summer Institute, the more fully developed your project blueprint is, the higher your chances are of being accepted. So thank you.
And thank you for those clarifications, Russ. Everyone, please do click through and provide your feedback on Hui-Ya's presentation in Lesson 15. The link is now in the chat. And I think we have addressed all questions that have come up so far. I will leave a few minutes for more questions to come up, but I want to express my thanks to all of you for persisting in this long and demanding institute, which is not over yet. Only the webinar portion is finished. You still have a lot of work to do. And so I'd like to wish you, in language appropriate to you, either ganbatte kudasai, jiayou, allez-y, or whatever it is that you need to get you over the hump and working on your project blueprint and on your way towards a really fabulous project design. Thank you very much for participating in our online webinar portion. And we will see you on the module discussion boards, just as Cindy just mentioned. So aloha. We will leave this meeting open for just a few more minutes so that we can continue chat, but this concludes the presentation portion of our online institute. Aloha. Ahui ho.